The San Antonio ISD Board of Trustees has called for a $1.3 billion bond election that will include two separate propositions on the ballot in the November 3, 2020 election. Proposition A would go towards school renovations, and Proposition B would be for technology. Taxpayers would not see a tax rate increase as a result of the bond based on district projections. As San Antonio's founding school district, SAISD was established more than 100 years ago. Generations of family members have attended our schools, which today serve more than 48,000 students across more than 90 schools in our culturally proud urban community. SAISD is the third largest school district in Bexar County. We're also its oldest. Today, we have many aging schools, which present challenges. The district is faced with a need to provide functional school buildings that provide modern learning environments. The district also wants to equip every school with safety upgrades and every classroom across the district with technology upgrades. Last spring, our Board of Trustees appointed a 22-member Blue Ribbon Task Force. They evaluated district facility assessments and developed recommendations for priority projects to be included in Bond 2020 as part of the district's Long-Range Facilities Master Plan. On August 17th, the task force presented its recommendations to the school board to pursue a $1.3 billion bond. The board agreed to put two propositions on the November 3rd ballot, one for school renovations and one for technology upgrades. Let's take a look at those propositions. Proposition A totals $1.2 billion and would cover significant renovations and upgrades to 36 SAISD campuses. That includes 21 schools whose main buildings have not been fully renovated in more than 50 years, and most have 30-year-old infrastructure. The 21 schools are Advanced Learning Academy, Euclid, Burnett Middle School, Carroll Early Childhood Center, Carvajal Elementary School, Castmed High School, Collins Garden Elementary School, Gates Elementary School, Grabner Elementary School, Highland Hills Elementary School, Highland Park Elementary School, Huppert's Elementary School, M.L. King Academy, Lamar Elementary School, Madison Elementary School, Neal Elementary School, Rhodes Middle School, Schenck Elementary School, Smith Elementary School, Steele Montessori Academy, Storm Elementary School, and the Young Women's Leadership Academy Secondary School. Renovation projects will vary by school at those 21 campuses. But what the majority have in common are renovations and upgrades such as infrastructure, classrooms, cafeterias and kitchens, restrooms, special needs accessibility, and safety modifications to front entries. These renovations would enable the district to provide facilities that are more equitable with what is offered in neighboring school districts. Building infrastructure upgrades would include replacing old heating, ventilation and air conditioning, plumbing, electrical, and mechanical systems with new systems. Also, classrooms would be renovated to new educational spaces that meet state guidelines and support today's teaching and learning models. This includes large, modern classrooms, access to areas with flexible spaces and movable walls to adapt for projects, breakout and huddle spaces, more natural light, outdoor learning areas, and mobile furniture to provide options for student collaboration, as well as safe social distancing. The other 15 schools under Proposition A would get funds for the final phase of work that began with partial renovations under Bond 2016 or Bond 2010. These campuses would receive renovations to areas that were not renovated in past bonds, such as fine arts and athletic facilities. Most of them would get a new main or secondary gym, and some of them would receive new weight rooms and training facilities and/or new sports fields with artificial turf, among other site improvements. The 15 schools are Bowden Academy, Brackenridge High School, J.T. Brackenridge Elementary, Burbank High School, Davis Middle School, Edison High School, Fox Tech High School Campus, Highlands High School, Sam Houston High School, Irving Dual Language Academy, Jefferson High School, Lanier High School, Longfellow Middle School, Rogers Middle School, and Tafoya Middle School. In addition to renovating and upgrading the 36 campuses, all schools would receive security upgrades with interior and exterior cameras under Proposition A. The district would also replace air conditioning chillers that are more than 15 years old, benefiting another 30 campuses. A portion of the funds would also go toward buildings housing new school models, including Rodriguez Montessori Elementary and Young Women's Leadership Academy Primary, to renovate classroom spaces as grade levels are added. This brings us to Proposition B. Proposition B totals $90 million and would fund new technology in our schools. This includes equipping every classroom and other areas of the school with the necessary infrastructure and wireless and wired components for high-speed connectivity for learning across the campus. Proposition B would also fund interactive smartboards and volume-enhancing audio systems for classrooms to support synchronous and asynchronous learning, as well as devices, charging carts, and other support tools. So what would the bond mean to your taxes? If the two propositions are approved, taxpayers would not see an increase to the tax rate from the bonds based on district projections. A few combined factors have put SAISD in a position to issue the bonds without having to raise the district's total tax rate. Those factors include continued downtown development, the paying down of debt, and low interest rates. There has been significant building development within the district's boundaries, and that increases SAISD's total taxable property value, as well as generates more money to the district without having to raise the tax rate. This building trend is expected to continue. With interest rates at an all-time low, SAISD will pay less interest on the bonds. The district anticipates generating enough revenue at the current tax rate to pay off the lower interest debt. SAISD's annual debt payments are scheduled to decline over time as the district pays down debt. This means money will be freed up to pay for debt issued under Bond 2020. For residents 65 years and older, excluding property improvements, their SAISD tax bill will not increase even if their property value increases, as long as an approved homestead and over 65 exemption application is on file with a Bexar County appraisal district and homestead property has been owned as of January 1st of the tax year. To avoid any confusion, we want taxpayers to know that in 2019, the Texas legislature passed legislation requiring the ballots for all school bond elections to include a sentence that states this is a property tax increase. The sentence is required even if no actual tax rate increase will occur. For the SAISD Bond 2020, taxpayers would not see an increase to the tax rate from the bond based on district projections if voters approve the two bond propositions on the November 3rd ballot. No increase in the total tax rate is anticipated to pay off bonds associated with these propositions. You will find the two bond propositions on the November 3rd ballot listed as Proposition A and Proposition B under the San Antonio ISD section of your ballot. Early voting runs October 13 through October 30th. Find more information about Bond 2020 at www.saisd.net/bond2020.